Good morning, good morning, Facebook and YouTubers and all my followers. How are you guys doing on this great Monday morning? This is Leah Abney, your author, speaker, and consultant with Keep It Moving Monday Morning Motivations. It's so good to be back. Y'all, last week I was sounding like a complete frog. There was no way I was going to be able to talk. So I did have to postpone that, but I am so glad to be back. And I hope that you guys are blessed and highly favored and doing great things in the earth. I know these are very challenging times. Things are still happening in the world. A lot of loss, a lot of great loss. Lost a great one this past week with Chadwick Boseman. And so I know a lot of you that he has really impacted this world, you guys. I know that he is a public figure, but the way he was able to change the climate and represent, the Black community, and impact young people's lives, young girls, young boys. And being a representative of who we are, in this world. So, blessings and peace to his family as they are mourning his loss, and family and friends. So, but let's keep it moving, right? We're going to keep it moving. So, on this week, on the top of the morning to you guys, I'm just going to share some of my summer picks. I said, you know what? I've done a lot of things, and I had intended to actually do a pajama party, a virtual pajama party, but there's so many things that's happening that I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and combine that with my summer picks at the top of the show. So I'm going to start sharing some of my summer picks. And what you're going to be able to see is um, or in the description, you're going to be able to see the links. So for instance, yes, I'm wearing the head wrap again. And you guys, this thing is so soft. I can't even begin to tell you how soft. This is my new one that I've gotten from Bold Look Head Wraps of Clothing. And they also come with, and this particular one, which is the camouflage, y'all, it's so soft. I mean, I'm naturally bald. Those you have watched my show before, and if you go back, you go some episodes, you're gonna see. And this is so freaking soft, you guys. And when I tell you it's soft and it's not heavy, it is so soft and so light. I love this one, and I just recently got this one, and it also comes with a matching mask. So go check them out. That is Bold Look Head Wraps and Clothing. So the link again is in the description, and go check them out. And then my next pick that I have, you guys, I have been looking for an organic deodorant, and I had a young lady that actually shared it on her Facebook post. She shared this particular company, and I said, you know what? Let me go check them out because I've tried Native, I've tried some other brands, and I'm not trying to say anything. They just didn't work for me. They may work for everybody else. They just didn't work for me. I was looking for something that wasn't, when I put it on, number one, it would go on smoothly. Number two, it would not be tacky, like sticky. And number three, it would kind of keep me dry, kind of keep you dry. And also, number four, had organic ingredients that I could read, right? And you guys, this little gem right here, can y'all see that? This right here is from, I'm sorry, I was covering it up. See that? Little Seed Farm. And they have different types and scents when it comes to their deodorant. And it is a deodorant cream. Is made with organic ingredients, and this is activated charcoal. And I absolutely love the scent of this particular kind right here. They have lavender as well, which I think I'm going to try those out. And guess what? If you go to their website, you can actually get the sample packets. So if you're not sure whether or not it will work for you, get the sample packets and try it out. And, because I had gotten the sample packets, I'm like, whoa, I actually like this stuff. And this is the crazy thing. I'm going to read the ingredients for you. It has arrowroot powder, magnesium um, hydroxide, coconut oil, jojoba oil, beeswax, vegetable glycerin, rosemary essential oil, as geranium essential oils and spearmint essential oil and activated charcoal. And it's certain some of these ingredients are certified organic ingredient. And for those who are like, okay, what other things that they're not made with is parabens, preservatives, and it's not animal tested. So those of you that are like really, animal activists, this has not been animal tested. And it comes with a little applicator um, on the top of the lid. But however, this is so cool, you guys. They got this smoothing applicator, which I love. Yeah. So I just dip it in here just a little bit, and it smells. You guys, the smell of this is just wonderful, and it's light, is which I really really like, because strong smells tends to make me very nauseous and dizzy. But again, you guys, in the description you're going to be able to find that little cute thing. Go check out their website, because I put their website on it. Again, this is Little Seed Farm, and these are their deodorant creams. They have some other products as well. And again, you can get the smoothing applicator, which again I absolutely love. And for those of you, after every application, what I do is I just use some soap and I wash that thing off, and I just set it, wipe it down, wipe the excess water off, and I just let it air dry, and it's ready for the next application. So those are my summer picks, some of my summer picks that I want to share with you. But I want you to stay with me on the top of this morning, because I got a great topic I want to share with you. As you go through your life and you're doing things, one of the things is that sometimes your vision, your passion can grow, or you may find that you may be drawn to do something else, like myself. I've been drawn to do something else. And so I've had something else added to my plate. And sometimes what it is we think that all the tables are full and there's no room for you. But I want you to stay with me as I speak on our topic on today, and I will be right back with you with the Keep It Moving Monday Morning Motivation Show.
Black tea, black tea.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back this morning. I just pray that God has found favor in your life and that you are keeping it moving. Despite what challenges, despite what it may look like in the world, guess what? There's something that's on the inside of you that the world needs. And so, how dare you keep it to yourself and not share it with everybody else? Take a moment to look at yourself and say, you know what? I am great. I am wonderfully made, and there is something in me that the world needs. And guess what? I'm not leaving this earth until I empty everything on the inside of me out, so that I can bless others. And so on this morning, I'm going to talk to you about our topic on today. But those of you who are joining me for the first time that don't know who I am, my name is Leah Abney. I am an author, I am a speaker, and I also am a consultant. You can visit more to learn about what I offer at leahabneyllc.biz. And what I do is I provide services that helps the entrepreneur, specifically women, but men, you are more than welcome to join, to check out my services as well, to help you set goals that will guide you and that are actionable, because we're talking about actionable goals, not those goals that you just sit there and expect things just to happen, to help you get to your next level in pursuing your purpose and your destiny. And so for those of you, again, if you're joining me on Facebook, go ahead and hop on over to YouTube, and I have provided the link in the description, and you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the notification button so you can find out when I'm coming on, because in the near future, I will be doing a lot more things as God has leads me to do so. So thank you so much for joining me. So let's go ahead and get into our topic on this morning. So our topic on this morning is getting a seat at the table. So I want to be able to say this, that there are some times when we feel like life is just happening. Y'all, excuse me, y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? But we're going to push on beyond that. And my voice is just, oh my gosh, but we're going to push on beyond that. So there are some times where you feel that there's not a seat at the table. And I know that most of you are like, okay, we've all have heard, you know what? If you don't have a seat at the table, create your own. But I can tell you, guess what? There are some of us that need to have that seat at the table, even when you create your own, because sometimes my own table may not have everything I need. And then some of the stuff that's at my table are beneficial to other people. And so that's where that collaboration comes in, you guys. And so it's so important that not only do we create our own table, but guess what? That we also get our seat at other people's tables so we can benefit and share resources, and that we can build a greater and bigger kingdom on earth as it is in heaven, you guys. And I'm just so serious about this, that we don't immediately dismiss ourselves from sitting at somebody else's table. So how do we get there? How do we get to sit at somebody else's table? Because sometimes we do have to create our own scenario first. That means create our own table so that then we're bringing value to sit at somebody else's table. So I'm going to talk to you about that today on how to what? Getting a seat at the table, right? And so, but I want to share this quote with you. I shared another quote with you at the top of the morning from Senator Warren. You can go back to the descriptions to read that. But this is the one I want to share in this segment, okay, in this particular episode. And this is from Barack Obama, President Barack Obama. Don't just get involved. Fight for a seat at the table. Better yet, fight for a seat at the head of the table. And so this is what we talk about, because, you know, this quote resonated so much with me, because I came to understand that as I was creating my own platform, you know, through this venue and make myself available to speak on other people's platforms, that I realized, I said, you know what, I have to make myself viable enough and valuable enough to be able to sit at somebody else's table. But I don't want to be sitting at the end, because if you look in the Bible, you know, it strictly says, and I don't have that verse, and I'm going to add it in the comments, that it talks about how when you're invited, don't immediately go and try to sit at the head of the table. Go sit there, you know, sit at another seat, and then when you are recognized, they will move you forward. And so that made me understand there were certain things that I needed to have in order to be recognized when I step in a room, or when I step on a platform, or when I am creating my own that draws people to me. So even as I'm building this a virtual platform for those of you who are entrepreneurs, maybe you're in the workplace, and it's even, and I'm going to say this, if you are working a 9 to 5 job, please do not count that as not valuable. That is so valuable, because we need people to do the 9 to 5 job to give us the opportunity to sit at the table. Because if there's nobody representing us as different cultures, I don't care what culture you're in, whether you are Asian, Jamaican, African American, whether you are Italian, or Mexican, or Hispanic, it does not matter. It does not matter. We all need representation at the table. We all need representation at the table. But I love what Barack Obama is saying here, Mr. President. Don't just get involved. Fight for a seat at the table. Better yet, fight for a seat at the head of the table. That was just so, it said so many things to me. And typically what I do is I have a scripture, but as I was looking at this particular topic, even though I researched the biblical principles to sitting at a table, I just found that this particular quote really resonated for what I wanted to share with you guys today. So again, do your own. Those of you that are like, oh, you know what, I want that biblical principle. Do your search. Do your search and find out which one scripture resonates with you, because that will be the one that will guide you. Because everything that I'm talking about that I share on the Keep It Moving Monday morning motivation is nothing new underneath the sun, that God says. And that there are some principles that are already, every principle is already in the Bible. You have to search out the one that resonates with you. Okay. And so for me, this also deals with wisdom, right? And understanding. So if you need a biblical scripture, here's one for you. Proverbs chapter 5, I believe it is. Chapter, oh gosh. And I'm gonna put it in the scripture because I don't want to say it wrong. And it's at the top of my tongue because I have it on my wall in my bedroom. And so, and it talks about understanding and wisdom. So I'm gonna add that into the this in the comments for you at the end of the show. So just stay tuned. I don't want to quote it incorrectly, but it does talk. It's in Proverbs that I do know off the top of my head, and right now it's just not coming to me. But let me stop digressing and let me go into our topic again, which we are talking about getting a seat at the table. And there are four things you should know when it comes to getting a seat at the table. And the first thing is learn from others. So again, and I've talked about this before, and it may seem like I'm being a little redundant, but in this particular instance, when I'm trying to get a seat at the table, one of the things is I'm trying to learn from others. So, for instance, I have become a candidate for running for the Board of Education in my particular city for my district. And so as I knew I was going to do this years and years ago. I just didn't know what office it was going to be. And so what I started doing was, unbeknownst to me, I was being introduced to a lot of city officials. I've been in contact with those who have run for office over time, and I just started watching them. I started watching them from behind the scenes, and then I make sure I engaged with them as well. This gave me the opportunity, as I am running for this particular position, it allows me to reach out to them for advice. It allows me to seek wisdom from them and learn from them at the same time. Again, open yourself open to learn from others. So whatever it is you're trying to do, if you're looking for that next promotion, and this is where mentoring becomes very essential to your growth. So if you don't have a mentor, you've always heard me say this, get yourself a mentor. It's going to be very important that you do. And again, I talked about, and you can go back to those episodes where I've talked about having a formal mentor, and then you have an informal mentor. Do not take anybody for granted. Please don't take people for granted when they are in those positions. Sometimes you may have to get yourself a coach. And you're like, well, Leah, who has money to pay for a coach? And I could say there are times I didn't have money for a coach. But what I did was I set some money aside. I may have stopped getting my nails done for a day, ladies. For gentlemen, I may have stopped putting extra, toys into my vehicle for a moment, and I set that money aside, okay, or stop buying those sneakers. Whatever it is that you put your money to, and it could be a drink, whatever. I just set that money aside. I said, I'm a sacrifice. This is when you talk about cotton, uh, um, counting the cost, right, to do this thing and to get where it is you want to do. So if you have feeling, you know what, I want to sit at somebody's table, again, get to know some people, learn from other people. It may mean buying into their services, buying into the service, taking one of the courses. It may be a free course. It may be a $25 course. It may be a $79 course. It may be a membership that will get you a free membership for the rest. Now I've done that. I have turned around, I paid the membership fee, and it is free for life. And so I continue to get resources. I continue to get information from them. Plus, I make sure that I am strategically in selecting and learning from others on Facebook is not just entertainment for me, it's opportunity for me to get into certain groups that are beneficial to me getting where I want to go. And so I've shared that before. So again, number one, the four things you need to know. The first one is learn from others. Learn from others. The second tip that I have for you, um, the second one that I have is set goals. You guys set goals on what it is that you wanted to do when it comes to sitting at the table. What is it that you're looking for? So one of the things that I want to do is I want to be able to impact the education center system, the education system. And I just didn't know how that was going to happen or when it was going to come. And one of the things that I was able to do was God put in my heart to to found a nonprofit organization. And that really helped me with really focusing on helping individuals transition to from high school into the workforce when it came to working with young people, and then also helping those who are just looking to transition in their career options and jobs anyways. So that came into play, but I knew that also as I was going through my education journey, that I found myself going into policy. And so I was like, God, I'm, spending these money on this degree. How am I going to use this? And so what fell into was the opportunity for me to be able to impact the education system. And I know that's going to go even further, even as I am navigating and going into this particular unknown territory. I am setting goals. And so it's so important that number two, you set goals on what it is you want to achieve so that you can get at that table that you're looking to sit at. If the table is, being a manager, are you number one? Because we talk about number one, are you engaged with other managers? Are you setting goals? How are you going to get there? So is it the first goal could be, you know what, I'm going to show up at work, because if I show up at work, I'm probably going to show up at somebody's table. Is it that you want to be more active in the community? Are you showing up in the community? Do you want to be more visible on platform, on social media? Are you showing up on social media? What is it that you're doing on a consistent basis and making sure that those goals are achieved? And so the third one that I want to set with you is bring value to the table. Don't just sit at the table and you just listening and you just being there because you want to rub elbows with the people next to you. Bring something to the table that's going to help them solve an issue. That's going to help them increase whatever is their objectives and their goals. And so don't go empty handed. I remember back in the day when you were invited to somebody's house, you didn't come, and I'm talking about, because I was born in the 60s. I was born in the 60s. I don't know how it is today. But you did not go to somebody's house empty handed. You brought something in your hand to give the host, right? To give to the host. And that's how I grew up. So again, when you are wanting to sit at these tables, bring value to the table. Bring something that you can some ideas, be innovative. And that just means innovative is really just bringing new ideas to the table to solve a problem. Okay. So you want to bring value to the table. Don't come empty handed. Because what they're looking for is those who are at the table are helping to make the decisions. Okay. They're there to help make the decisions. And guess what? It doesn't mean that your idea will be chosen a lot of times, but you're bringing something to the table. And that becomes very important. So the fourth thing I want to share with you is build meaningful relationships. This really should be number one, where you should start, because this is the foundation to get you to sit at the table. Okay, to sit at the table. And this really ties into number one, when you're learning from others, because guess what? There were some times, like for instance, I had a friend of mine who invited me to participate in this particular organization. And it was an opportunity, it was actually a program where you were learning about leadership. And so I was like, come on, sis. Okay, you know what? I'm not sure I want to do this. She's like, come on, Leah, come on and do this. Come on and do this. And I'm like, okay. And she was doing it. And I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. And there's an interview process that had to be go through. And I finally went through the program. And I did learn some things through that program. I had to change my mindset. But during that time, I was able to connect with one of the mentors that were there. And during that process, as I learned from her, we were able to do some things together. I ended up having a platform where um, I was asked to provide programs to the community. And Miss Deborah, she was willing to come and lend her talents to that program. So here it was, we were able to build a meaningful relationship, and that continues today. So again, those relationship opens up opportunity, not only just for you, but for others as well. So it's so important that you add this to your plate. I can't tell you how important it is, these relationships are, to get in a seat at the table, and because people will remember you. They will remember you, and they will be like, hey, you know what? I know so and so that could actually do this. And you may not even be at the table physically, but somebody's brought you to that table. And now, guess what? You've done got an invitation to the table. So sometimes a seat at the table comes through invitation, is because of the relationships that you've built along the way. So again, there are four things that you should know about getting a seat at the table. The first one is learn from others. Number two, set some goals for yourself. Number three, make sure that you bring a value to the table. You don't want to go empty-handed, don't go empty-handed. And in the process of doing this, make sure that you are building meaningful relationships. And there's something also that we need. There is no shortcuts. There is work that has to be done to get a seat at the table. This doesn't come with you just coming to the table empty-handed without you doing the work behind the scenes. It takes a lot of work behind the scenes, and no, it does not happen overnight. And so, in order to get there, these are some things that you say, well, Leah, what tables can I sit at, and where can I build these meaningful relationships? And so, again, for those of you who are just coming on, the topic of today is getting a seat at the table. Well, where are some ways that I can get a seat at the table, Leah? I'm learning from others. I've set some goals. I have some value I can bring to the table, and I have meaningful relationships. But what tables can I sit at? Well, these are the ways that you can find some tables. Number one, join your local and get involved with your local chamber. Okay. Again, well, I'm involved with the local chamber here in my area is the Greater Augusta Black Chamber of Commerce, and I'm involved with this chamber. And guess what? It opens up tables for me to come and sit at, as I am, and it's bringing me exposure. One of the things I talked about, it brings me exposure. So your local chamber is one way to get a seat at the table. Okay. Another one is you can run for a local office. You can, like I'm doing right now, you can run for a local office. It's one way to get a seat at the table. Again, applying the four things that you should know, which includes what I said at the top of the show, learning from others, right? Setting some goals. Number two. Number three is bringing value to the table, right? And number four is building meaningful relationships. So as you're doing that, guess what? There'll be people that will actually encourage you. Hey, you know what? You got some great ideas, and I really think that you'll be valuable in running for office. You will actually have people that will start pumping you up, saying you need to run for office. And so don't count it strange when people say this. And if somebody has said it to you, this may be the time this is a great time for change. And you're like, well, how do I find out what offices are running? Go to your city page. Go to your city page. Those of you who are in Augusta, Georgia, you can go to the official Augusta website. And yes, they announce on there the different when the different offices are running. okay, and when the differences offices are running. Get to know your commissioners, get to know your city officials. Okay, be involved. That's one way if you're interested in running for office. And so another way for those of you that are like, well, I really don't want to go there and run that way. Well, if you are, for those of you that really have an interest, and I'm just mentioning a few, there are other ways you could do that because you can also look at some of your associations in your particular field. So if you're an engineer, maybe join the Black Engineers membership, get a membership with the Black Engineers. If you are into education, find a membership on education. If you're interested in automobiles, okay, automotive industry, find an organization, because let me tell you, there's a membership for everything underneath the sun. I'm telling you, there is for animals, for kids, for there is a membership. You just have to Google, use Google, and you're going to find it. And so, lastly, the last place that I'm talking about is PTA, your parent teacher associations. And so, that is another way to get involved in the school, get a platform, make yourself a voice for yourself. And I can even tell you, there's even associations for homeschooling. There are associations for, uh, if you're into the arts, there's association for the arts. There's association for music industry. There's associations for everything you could ever think of, and get involved. Get involved. Don't just be in the membership. Get involved. Find a way you can contribute back. Engage yourself in those Facebook groups that you're in. That's a way of getting yourself at the table. So on today, again, those of you that don't know me, my name is Leah Abney, author, speaker, and consultant. The topic of today was getting a seat at the table. And please, thank you so much for joining me on today. And those of you who want to learn more about what I have to offer, again, you could visit my website at leahadneyllc.biz. And I thank you so much for joining me on today. And I hope to see you on next time, on my next time at the next episode. So y'all have a great day.